Hey Achievers, this is Maya, founder of Healthy High Achievers. Join our global community and create healthier routines to avoid burnout and feel more calm and healthy. Let's get to it. Welcome back to this episode where we're going to talk about how to stop overthinking and control your mind. Achievers, I think this is a super important topic because overthinking anxiety is the newest chronic disease. It's really something that we get so stuck up in our heads. We're using our mind so much to take decisions, to live our life, that it's starting to take over, right? So, first, I want to give you 3 ways that you could be overthinking, and then I want to share with you 5 strategies that you can start testing out today and see what works best for you. Are you ready? Let's dive in. So the first way that you could be overthinking is repeating past events, right? You're just thinking about a previous discussion or things that happened and it's playing over and over again. You think you could have reacted better. These are things that you can't change anymore, right? These are things that you can't control anymore. But still your mind is trying to sort of like ruminate over the past. The second way is the right now. Okay. Thinking about everything that you need to get done right now. And even when you try to relax, you just can't stop feeling guilty about everything you still need to get done. So your brain is telling you, hey, you still need to do this. You still need to finish this. You want to constantly do something useful. And then the third way is in the future, right? You might be worrying about the future, about how something will happen. You don't feel prepared. You don't feel enough. You feel like you're worried about how things will go in the future, right? And so these 3 ways, thinking about the past, your to-do list now, and how things will go in the future, it's kind of stopping you from really relaxing, right? Your cortisol levels, your stress levels in your body are constantly up because you're stressing over things that are not truly happening in your here and now. Now, people, I want you to download the Overthinking Emergency Kit that's included in the link below in the blog post of this month. And it's free and you can use it every time you feel like you're overthinking. There are 10 steps in there that you can test out, try out. It's an experiment, right? We are all different people, our brains work differently. So just start playing with that and see what really works for you. The moment you're overthinking and you feel like you just can't stop your mind from racing, that's the document you need right there. Now, why are you overthinking? I just feel like we cannot blame society for everything. But in this case, society has a lot to do with it. In today's world, we're so caught up in our left brain. That's the part of logic, analyzing facts, planning, understanding, right? And we want to just, like they say, you cannot think your way through everything. Or you cannot think your way out of everything either. And that's what we try to do. But we kind of, our right brain half just seems like something that not that important. That's your art, imagination, music, emotion, creativity, and it just feels like something fun you could do in your free time, but not important enough. So then on the one hand, we're like too caught up in our left brain and it's so active because we're also living in an input society. I always talk about how we should focus more on output instead of input because we keep putting stuff in. Information has never been this accessible to us. Communication has never been this fast and easy. So you could be putting information into your brain 24 hours a day, right? Courses, podcasts, books, online activities. And the truth there is that you trained your brain to be constantly active. You trained your brain to be constantly processing information. And it's an overload, really. And you don't give enough importance to those moments of recharging your energy, of output. So that's going to be one of the 5 strategies I'm going to share with you today. But Hold on there a second. So I want you to try out one of these 5 suggestions I'm going to give you in this podcast. And I want you to download the Overthinking Emergency Kit and keep it at handy, okay? Whenever you can't stop your mind from racing. Are you ready for the 5 strategies? You can read the full blog post in the link below, but I'm just going to give you an overview here for people who are more visual watching this video or more auditive and just want to listen to the podcast. Here we go. So the first one is get out of your head and into your body. Okay, so that has to do with what I just said. We're so caught up in our heads. We use our heads for everything. And we need to practice getting into our body more, into our intuition, into the present moment. So it has a lot to do with mindfulness, you know? And just know that your mind isn't everything, your reasoning isn't everything. You cannot understand each one of your emotions, for example. Well, that's all a whole other deep topic we could talk about. But we're trying to understand everything, every single thing in our life, and that's just not possible. So, how do you do that? You know, you focus more on output, anything that comes out of you. Just think of anything you like doing that can come out of you instead of keep stuffing up that brain with information. It could be, there's a list of ideas I put in this blog post, but it could be just daydreaming, staring out the window, listening to music, dancing, singing, meditating, you know, doing a body scan. And I have a really good one for you for free, a 20-minute Healthy High Achievers body scan. If you're interested in that, the link is in the blog post as well. Some of you prefer doing yoga. You might be creative and you like drawing, painting, using coloring books for adults, you know. Exercising is also a great way to get into your body. There are so many things you could do, but the important thing here is to think about what comes out of me instead of putting things in. Okay. Second strategy here is giving yourself permission to rant, but with a timer. So sometimes we're overthinking and ruminating, and the thought train just never stops. What you should do here is give yourself permission to rant, to just get frustrated, but putting a timer on it. So this exercise has 2 steps. One, you put a timer for 5 to 10 minutes and you rant out loud. It's so important to do this out loud. Okay. So lock yourself up somewhere where you can be alone or not if you don't care. Scream if you're feeling bold and just rant about everything that's bothering you, everything that doesn't get solved, that's annoying you about the situation that you can't find a solution for. And then you set your timer again for 5 to 10 minutes and you say out loud what you're learning from this experience, okay? What you're grateful about, what positive this brings to you. Maybe you create better filters in your life. Maybe you will come out stronger in the end. So then, strategy 3 and 4, you might want to switch the order. Kind of depends on what you need at that moment. We'll go through both. 3 is to step away and look for distraction. So it might be that after ranting, you just want to step away, look for distraction. Because did you ever have that moment where you were thinking about something, you wanted to find a solution, and you just couldn't come up with it? And then you were doing something completely else, or you were in the shower, walking in nature, in a conversation with a friend, and all of a sudden, boom, the best solution or the idea hits you. That's what we want to go for here. Because sometimes when you're in a state of stress and you really want to solve this issue, you can't, because high cortisol, high stress levels actually narrow your focus and you can't see the big picture. You can't use those areas in your brain that allow you to be creative in problem solving. When you're in a state of stress, different areas of your brain are activated that are more focused on the short-term survival techniques, and you'll find like the easiest way out, but not the best solution. So sometimes the best thing to do is to find something that completely distracts you and relaxes your mind. Okay. And then the right solution might just hit you like a flash, or the inspiration might hit you at the right moment. Strategy number 4, and we have 5 today, so we're already at number 4, is something that my own psychotherapist taught me when I was 15. I was struggling with fibromyalgia, with the limits of my body, with chronic disease, extreme fatigue, and I didn't know where to turn to. So I went to a psychotherapist to learn to deal with my body's limits. And one of the things, I used to be quite a perfectionist myself. So one of the things I learned was to literally put the problem on a chair. So you literally imagine taking the problem out of you and putting it in front of you on a chair, and you're looking at it. I don't care what it looks like a bowl or like a mess or whatever it looks like to you. Look at it from all sides. Walk around the chair. Just try to see, okay, if you were a team of people, what would each person say? If you're playing the best detective here, what's another way of looking at this? Are you making things more complex than they actually are? Look at all angles. And so what you're doing here is a little trick that you're doing with your brain to control your mind. You're externalizing the issue. You're taking it outside of yourself onto a chair. And you're making it easier for your brain to come up with the right solution, because it looks like it's not that personal anymore. It looks like something outside of yourself. So if you've ever felt like you're the best advice giver for someone else, but you don't know what the to do with your own life, this is why. And then number 5, super, super important. Get comfortable with the gray zone. Honestly, like I told you, I used to be quite a perfectionist. I used to think in black and white. It's either or, um, very like black or white thinking instead of the nuanced thinking. And I didn't like unresolved issues. I didn't like unclarity, uncertainty. I felt allergic to it. I wanted to solve everything right away. And it wasn't until I moved to Peru that I had to learn to get comfortable with the gray zone. There's no efficiency addiction here. There's no clarity over anything. There's lots and lots of blurred lines. And I know when I tell this to my Belgian friends, they feel terrified by it. But newsflash, gray zones are everywhere. And you have to learn to get comfortable with the not knowing. Okay. Because you cannot predict or plan everything. No, you don't know how your life will go. You might have a goal and then things turn out differently, or unexpected events pop up. So, and here is the important thing, it's not the solution that's most important, it's not the answer to your question that's most important. It's asking the question. Let me repeat that for you. Asking the question is more important than finding the answer. And especially, you need to accept that there might be a space between asking that question and finding the answer. It might not pop up right away. So once you know where you'd like to get, you need to know that your brain is like a mental GPS. Literally, you put in the destination. You're like, hey, this is what I want to achieve. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to solve. And then you know that your brain is constantly filtering. It cannot absorb everything or think everything, or it's constantly scanning and filtering. And it will scan and filter to find the best way to get to your destination. And that might take a while. And why I say it's like a GPS is because you might try one way and then the road's blocked. And some of you might think, oh, this is not for me. I'm just going back home. I won't get to that destination. But your brain will actually, just like a GPS, recalculate the best possible road and try a different way. And you just need to know that you will get there. You don't know how yet, and you need to get comfortable with not knowing the how yet. But you will get there. So this is a super important idea that I want you to integrate, to just planting a seed there. I know embracing the gray zone takes some time. It took me 5 years, but we're just planting the seed here for that seed to grow. So People, achievers, overthinking anxiety. What do you need to remember from this one? I'm just going to give you 5 key ideas, okay, that I really want you to remember from this podcast. One, you trained your brain to be overly active, but you also have the power to retrain your brain to stop overthinking. Second one, focus on output instead of input. We have too much information in our brains anyway. So, what can you do that comes out of you? And give that way more importance, please. Third, you cannot think your way out of everything, okay? Especially not when you're in a state of stress and you have that narrow focus. Fourth, start to embrace the gray zone of uncertainty. Just start. Not everything is black and white, and the gray zone is part of life. And then fifth, you always have the overthinking emergency kit to help you when your mind can't stop racing. Okay, it's a free download included in the link below. So, last but not least, celebrate your brain's capacities. Okay, it's a beautiful thing, the fact that you can think and analyze and compare facts and find solutions. Just celebrate your brain's capacities, but don't overuse them. So we are overusing our brains. Okay. That's a pandemic right there. We are overusing our brains and we just need to retrain our minds to step out of that habit. It's truly a habit. It's how we train our brain and start using it differently. Okay. So I'm really sure that you will take the first important steps to get there. I'm here to support you. We have the Healthy High Achievers community to support you. And guys, I wish you a wonderful rest of your week. Take care. Dear Achievers, I hope you liked this episode. If you did, please subscribe and share with your friends, anyone who needs to hear this. You're super welcome to join us at healthyhighachievers.community as well. See you there.